Hey Aries, welcome to Divine Duality Tarot. My name is TJ. Today what I'm going to do for you is a love reading to get an idea of what's going on between you, Aries, and whoever this romantic interest may be. That way I can give you as much information from what I see as possible so that you can go into this March of 2023 with a little bit of forewarning instead of no warning at all. Help you make some good informed decisions. So, what I'm drawing here is I'm going to do two for you to represent your energy. I'm going to do two for whoever this interest is, whoever this partner is, whoever they may be. A lot of whoever's going on right now. Whoever would have thought. Do two for them. And then I'm going to do two for your shared energy. It's really the power between the two of you. It might be, a focus for an idea of a focus of this relationship. What's going on right now that's hitting you both. If any of these are not as clear as we would like them to be, they're here for a reason, but sometimes things are a little vague. I do have this deck over here for clarification, should we need it. So, your energy going into this is the Emperor, the masculine figure in the relationship. This is the father figure, the one with the bold moves, the one with the power and romance. This is the right up in their face, let's do it kind of person. Very powerful energy, very get things done energy. And then you have the Seven of Cups, which is clarity, which is, your dreams coming, the clouds are parting and you're seeing things for what they are. So what this is kind of looking like is things weren't quite where they needed to be. Things weren't, like in your mind, things weren't making sense. And they're starting to make sense, and that's giving you this willpower, this energy, this invigoration to actually make a change that you see is better. Now, is it better? Maybe. Is it not? Maybe. We'll get into that further down the road here, but that's what we have. A newfound confidence, a newfound power. You have ideas, you want to make them happen. If this person's been falling behind, this may be a time that you're thinking, well, I'm just going to pick them up. Hard to describe, but in all honesty, your situation is hard to describe. Because you just came from a land of fog and confusion, and the sun's finally coming out. You're starting to see the path, and that's got you feeling confident. Confidence is good, but confidence is a very fine line, and it's easy to cross into cockiness. So keep that in mind too. But let's go over their energy. They have the Two of Wands, which is planning for the future. They're planning something. Their willpower is that of moving forward into a better situation for them. That better situation for them does involve another party, you, their energy in this relationship. They also have the Four of Wands, which is celebration. It could be a wedding, but it is celebration, it is union, it is becoming more of a couple, if that makes sense. So this person, whoever this interest is, Aries, they are very forward thinking. And in all honesty, their underlying intentions seem to be moving in a direction that's good for both of you. This person may be really thinking about potentially moving to the next step. If you both are just talking, if you both are just, being, just casually seeing each other, the next step could be actually fully dating. The next step could be, if you're already dating, it could be sealing the deal with a marriage. There's a lot of things that can be next, and that's their goal. They are moving in that direction. The energy between the two of you is kind of interesting. I'm gonna have to clarify one of these for sure. But you have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is difficulty and self-reliance. I'm thinking that plays more into your mentality into this relationship. You may feel like they're not putting as much in as you believe. And let me explain that. It's really difficult, but when you're in a situation where two parties are pushing, like to get something done, and you start pushing harder, do you expect them to catch up and meet with you? If you have new ideas and you want to get it, you want to do it, and they're not moving at the same speed, do you expect them to speed up too? Aries, it could be one of those situations that you're moving faster than they are because you have this new clarity, and it may make you think like you're taking on more of a burden than you actually are. You may be burdening yourself more than you should because you're now taking all these new ideas, these new problems, whatever it may be, you're taking them upon yourself. Share the load. Share the load with them. This person is in it for the right reasons. Yes, you have power, you have confidence, but sometimes you can't do it by yourself. And that's where you're at. Difficult fulfillment. You don't see yourself getting the things that you want because you feel like you're doing it by yourself. But are you actually alone? No. Use the tools that are available to you. I'm not saying that they're a tool, but use the things that are available to help you get the things that you want. You have the Ten of Pentacles as well, which is wealth. Wealth in the physical world can be anything from money, can be just, your financial situation, be it the possessions that you own. It could also be we as humans exist in the physical world. This is physical, and if you have a wealth of physical, it could be confidence in who you are. It could be strength in your character, what you're worth in the world. This is a situation definitely where you feel as if you're pulling more than you should be, and they have not caught up yet, but you have just come out of a dark place, of a foggy place. You have new drive, you have new ambition, you are ready to move. Don't expect others to immediately catch up to you. You're already running. They haven't even started running yet. And even though you're running, don't take everything to be on your shoulders. I know it's kind of hard not to, especially when you have really strong masculine energy flowing through you. When you are the one showing the real power in the relationship, it can really make you feel, if you don't stop for a moment and just really look back and realize the wealth that you do have. Once you zero in on what really needs to be done, once you zero in on what really needs to happen, you can make things better. But I want to see what some repercussions of this is. if you continue on, Aries, if you continue on taking on more than you actually need to, if you're pushing way too hard, you're pushing yourself, you're putting yourself in front of everything else, you're making yourself the centerpiece in the relationship. What happens if you keep going? What happens if Aries continues and doesn't slow down, doesn't stop, doesn't take a moment to think? You just keep acting on that impulse. Queen of Pentacles is, in this situation, would be a lack of generosity. It's generosity and dependability. So you're not being generous to yourself, but what you are showing is that you are dependable. You are showing that you are generous because you are working way hard. You are really pushing yourself into a new phase. And then you have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is financial stability. So if what you're doing is trying to push to gain more wealth, you can do it. It can be done if that's your goal. But that goal, the outcome here, is only in the physical world. The outcome here doesn't show anything about an us. It shows, I mean, this does affect the us, but is this what you want to be your sole purpose in the relationship? Is building in the physical world? Is going for that almighty dollar, or pound, or whatever it is that you have in currency? Is that what the goal is? Is that actually what you're going for? Because if your goal is something more, you're building yourself up to be a purse, a hard worker, somebody who is doing it all themselves, who's taken all the will, taken all the responsibility. So what happens if Aries shares it a little bit? You don't have to slow down, but if you kind of let off the gas a little bit. What happens if you let off the gas a little bit? Share the load, kind of get I keep saying that, share the load, but that's really what I'm sometimes aggression can be a lot better. Aries, if it continues on and you slow it down a bit, you have the card of death in that future. Kind of interesting how that works out. Card of death, though, is not necessarily just the end of something, it's the beginning of something as well. It is where one thing ends, something begins. That ending can be anything from the ending of a relationship, which I hope is not the case, but it could be the ending of an understanding of a phase of a relationship. If right now you are the person that they see as being dependable, if you decide to slow down, or if you burn out, because that can always happen too. You push yourself too hard and you burn out. This person may not see that you are who you are. This person may see somebody who has given up, and a new expectation has been formed that not to expect much of you. which leads to the Ten of Swords, which is anxiety, which is worry. It's kind of an interesting situation. But Aries, in this case, I'm usually a really big fan of sharing burden with your partner because relationships should be a 50-50. But this may be one of those situations where keep the gas pedal down, work through whatever this is, and just try to understand, though, this is the biggest one, is just try to understand that not everybody can move at your speed. Not everybody has the ability to put in effort like you can. But Aries, this is ultimately up to you how you want to continue. If you continue, you'll get your wealth. You'll get your future. In the physical world, what that means for the spiritual world, the emotional world, the other side of the relationship is truly up in the air. But we do know for sure is that if you do put more of the burden on them, they may not understand that burden because you're operating on a whole different level. If you put too much on them, that actually may force them into a situation where they're more worried than they should be. Aries, this is a tough one. You're going to have to weigh this one out because every single Aries is different. This is a general for your sign. Your situation may be where you have to look at your individual facts, your individual moves in your relationship, because this is a point where you have to understand, do you want the status quo to be you the one leading everything in the relationship, or the majority of it? Is this going to be a 70-30? Sometimes people are better being the 30 in the relationship. Every relationship's different. Like I said, I'm a firm believer in half and half, but if your strengths are going to outweigh their weaknesses by you being stronger, then maybe that's what needs to happen. Just don't burn yourself out. That is a big fear. Don't burn out, because then you won't get this and you will get this. The hard choices, very hard choices. I'm an Aries too, so it's like, you get these renewed passions for something, and if your partner doesn't quite have those same passions, but they're in it, in the relationship, maybe you gotta pursue those passions on your own, because you have the ability to make success happen. And you're coming from a place of stability, so it's like, the worst part is you don't have anything to lose. If things stay as is, it'll be okay. Aries, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put my pedal down. I'm going to put my pedal all the way down. I'm going to push, I'm going to make it work. You weigh your circumstance, you weigh your situation, you weigh your partner, and if that person is going to be there cheering you on while you race that track, while you race those other people, beat them. Win that race. Because with that type of energy, I feel bad for whoever's standing in your way. So with that said, Aries, I really do appreciate you sticking through the video, watching, hearing everything I have to say with the messaging here. So with all that said, Aries, I will see you next time.